DCM works. Pow. Right in the kisser.
I got it. 10 out of 10. There was probably a song that reminded me of it, or I'd done an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice.
Writing is definitely an isolating thing.
From an outside perspective, that's weird as
It makes
fuck.
us look really mental.
But that is because of what it kind of said about art.
I had fun in bits. There were fun bits.
We went and bought a value pack of Shrek.
Oh my god, we did. There's a big lesson here to learn about storytelling. Hey guys, welcome back to the Alpha Artist Podcast, official podcast of Digital and Creative Media Works. My name is... Fuck, how does it go?
Your name is David.
David, what? Yeah, and...
Creative something.
Ben.
Yeah, hello.
Wow, how did I forget the... Jesus, it's been a long day for me. And this week, Ben, we are doing another Q&A.
Gotta let it breathe, and I know you got the answers, but they ain't got the question, so you gotta make quanswers. That means you say the question and the answer at the same time. This interview shit. If you ain't know, this is really interlude shit. I'm not even dropping hot bars yet. I do this.
Questions and answers.
My favorite.
Mostly questions and a few answers.
Mostly questions and an opportunity to sit around and do nothing for half an hour.
We're working hard. This counts as work, Ben. This
Working
is us.
hard?
Or hardly working, you know what I mean? That's in a Shrek film, I think.
Is that? No, it's not from Shrek.
No, it's in one of the Shrek films, so they
Like
really
Shrek
force
3?
it in. I think it's Shrek, whichever one is the one where Shrek becomes a man. I think
That's Shrek 2.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that
They're in the
bit.
potions factory, and like Shrek dresses up as one of the workers, but none of it fits him because he's an ogre-sized person.
Yeah,
And he walks past a guy and he's like, working hard or hardly working. I can't do Mike Myers' voice, but pretend that was in an accent.
I recently saw the entirety of Shrek 4 on Facebook.
What?
Someone had just uploaded it as a Facebook video.
What's wrong with the internet?
And it was good. It's
Is
Shrek
it?
4 is a good film. Yeah.
It's on Netflix. I might
Shrek
watch
4
it.
is really good.
I might watch it. We won't do an AFA on it ever, but
Shout
I will
out to
watch
Shrek 4. It's a
Yeah,
good film.
it.
2 and 3 are terrible,
Yeah.
but 1 and 4 are actually pretty
That's
good.
interesting. Yeah, people have actually said really good things about 4.
4 is pretty good.
Yeah, I'll have
Yeah.
to check it out. So our first question this week comes from Milo via email. Sup, dickheads. He
Thanks.
says. That was a...
Wow.
I'm having real trouble
David.
today. That was a disingenuous way to start this, but whatever. David, you remind me a lot of Bernard from Black Books. He puts in brackets, grumpy, alcoholic, stubborn. If you had to pick a character from fiction for each other that most adequately represents the other, what would it
What?
be and why? What he's asking, okay, he's saying that we have to pick a character from fiction that the other person is most like. He just wrote that email very... that was a confusing way to write.
Well, it's like the really fat dwarf from The Hobbit.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, well, that's you.
Well, that's harsh.
Because
Why?
you're short.
Oh. I'm not. I'm like normal height. You're
Yeah.
just giant.
Yeah, you're just average
I
height,
like that
aka
you didn't
short.
go for like anything other than just height was your qualifier.
Yeah.
That's well done. You're like
You're a shorter Nathan Fillion.
that's actually that's
Yeah.
pretty accurate.
You're a less tall Nathan Fillion.
People have called me Matt Smith before, but like less handsome. They're like you're like a dirt.
You're an uglier Matt Smith.
No, they're like you're a dirtier Matt Smith. They're like you're
Yeah,
just
that's a
less
good way to put
clean.
it. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. I think you're most like... Honestly, you're a lot like Shrek, not because you're an ogre. But, like, you have similar tendencies. But no, see, you're like more of a bear man. You're like, what's the bear called from The Bear in the Big Blue House? Is he just Bear? Is he just called The Bear?
The Bear in the Big Blue House.
Yeah, is he just called The Bear? Does he have a name?
Fuck.
Yeah, I think
isn't his name Blue?
I thought Blue was the moon.
I don't fucking know.
Who knows? But yeah, you're like the bear in the Big Blue House.
Just the
because
bear. Okay.
You're like paternal, but not in a good way. Like no one wants your advice, and you rarely give
I'm
it.
paternal, like a fucking Black Widow spider.
Yes, and everyone's a little worried about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
That was not exact. I'm guessing Milo was hoping I'd be like, Ben, you're like Thor because you have a beard and you're courageous, but no, you're like
No.
the bear because you have facial hair.
You're just a fat dwarf.
That's harsh, man. It's
Yeah.
harsh. I'm like a fat. Actually, you know what? I'd be like a. If you could shrink Matt Smith into a dwarf, and just force him not
If
to.
you shrinked Matt Smith into a dwarf and then like took him into the Photoshop tool and just like stretched him out vertically a little bit, you get David.
Spot on. And you didn't let him shave or get a haircut for like a month.
Yeah.
So this comes from Fuck Knuckle via email. I only know that because his email address. He didn't sign it or anything. It just was Fuck Knuckle at his email address.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Wait, we've had this, haven't we? I think we've had this question before.
Let's
actually.
answer it again. Maybe
Wait,
our
hang
opinions
on.
have changed.
Hold on. Yeah, maybe. He goes, hey kids, was wondering if you have a favorite beer. I think we've answered this before. No, I think we answered if we have a favorite beverage.
Corona.
Corona's your favorite beer?
Yeah.
See, to me, Corona tastes like water. That's just not a good thing.
Well, yeah, that's why I drink it.
Yeah. Oh, actually that makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. I like.
Don't say Sapporo
I
just
wasn't
because we're
going
drinking
to. I
it.
was just looking at it in my hand. Like, the answer. Oh god, my favorite beer. I don't know. I really like Asahi Black, which is like premium Asahi.
Yeah, true.
But you can't really get it in Australia because it's too alcoholic.
It's illegal.
Yes. I got it in Melbourne when they had at the bottle shop near Gabe's place had it. So I bought like, I was there for 4 days and I bought a case and would easily go
God
through it.
damn.
And I was not hungover
That's
at all.
like 4 a day.
No, it was a case. So it's 6 a day.
6 a day.
A case is 4 6-packs.
Yeah, and you were there for 7 days.
No, I was there for 4 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were there for 7 days.
No, it's even worse than that.
Yeah,
I was
that's
only there
horrible.
for 4 days.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is
Jesus.
there was 4 6-packs. I was there for
Yeah.
4 days, so I had 6 beers a day. But I was on holiday. Well, I was technically on holiday. Well, I wasn't on
Technically on
holiday. I was
holiday.
there working because meeting with the Sans Pants guys and stuff. But like I had no obligation to do anything, and I wasn't driving, so we just had breakfast beers. Like it was fine. It was good.
Yeah.
We're writers, so fucking drinking like fish and shit.
Fish don't drink water.
Huh?
Fish don't drink water.
Yeah, I know. It's an expression. You
Fish don't
like
drink,
it's
though.
an expression.
Fish don't drink.
What do they drink then? But don't they get dehydrated?
No, because they live in water.
But if I lived in water, I'd still get dehydrated. That's all I'm saying.
Fish don't drink.
Well, then how do they not get dehydrated?
Because they live in water.
No, I see what you're saying, but you just said they don't drink water.
Yeah, they don't drink water.
Do they? What do they drink then?
They don't drink.
Fuck
They
you.
don't have stomachs that take liquid.
I'm confused by fish.
Fish don't drink.
Next question comes from Anonymous, and it's from Toronto via email. And this one was hard to decipher, so I'm not exactly sure if this is exactly what they were trying to
Another
ask.
one of these fun ones.
Y'all talked about, God, okay. Y'all talked about I'm trying to translate Bo Burnham and his Netflix special, which made me wonder: do you guys, have any regular favorite comedians?
No.
A lot of that's missing a lot of letters.
I
Do you
don't
guys
like-
have any favorite comedians? No, we don't like comedy.
No, I don't like comedians.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I'm actually being serious. David's joking.
huh?
David.
Oh. Well, you don't necessarily have to like them as comedians. But you have any comedians that you enjoy?
No.
Oh, good chat. Obviously, yeah. I mean, Bo Burnham's up there, but he's not really. He's a comedian. I like Will Anderson a lot. I like his podcast. And the guys from The Dollop, Dave Anthony, and Gareth Reynolds.
Jeez, it's my job, dude.
Oh, sorry.
Come on.
Yeah. Every time we record, doesn't matter what it is, Ben will invariably burp into my microphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the guys from The Dollop. I don't know, like I don't listen to a lot of comedy. Sorry, I don't watch a lot of comedy, but I listen to a lot of podcasts by comedians that aren't necessarily funny. That makes sense?
So it's a podcast where they're doing their job badly.
No, it's just not a podcast that's supposed to be like laugh out loud funny. Right, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
Whereas like, like The Dollop is there are moments where it's so outrageously funny that you just like you can't not laugh. But then it's not designed to be necessarily always hilarious.
Yeah.
Because they tell a story each week. So, yeah, that's up there. And then yeah, there's some Melbourne guys that I met when I was down there, that were really really nice. Who had nothing to do with Sans Pants. They were just at the same place at the same time. And they were super nice. So, this comes from Snell via Twitter #AFAPod.
Hello,
And this
Snell.
one came in several tweets, so I had to like piece it together.
Oh,
Don't
that's
know
always
why.
fun.
I don't think it's over 120.
Doing that is a
characters.
fucking puzzle.
Yeah, but it's not over 120 characters. That's why I didn't understand it. Like it's pretty short.
Sure.
It says, what is your least favorite video game? And in brackets, also David's opinion is less valid because he hates everything or whatever. Love you, dickheads. What's your least favorite video game?
My least favorite
I'm
video
assuming
game.
this has to be one that we've played.
Oh, this is a hard one.
It's tough because we're just very like yeah, whatever.
I've definitely had video games where I've just been so just annoyed at what they've done. Fuck, that's a really hard one. That's harder
tough.
than like what's your favorite one?
Yeah, because it's like
Because there's
least
so
favorite.
much garbage.
'Cause it's not like what do you hate? It's like what did you? It's pretty much like what did you enjoy the least?
Because if I hated, I wouldn't have played it for much.
That's exactly. But then there are games where like they were okay, they were just like super average that I played to completion because I wanted to finish it,
yeah.
but I didn't necessarily enjoy it.
That's a really hard question. I mean,
I'm
I
trying to
wanna,
like.
I want to give it like there's something in my mind that I'm like I hated it a lot, and it's sitting there. I mean, I don't want to say like something that
I'm looking at my Steam library and I'm like, there's a
it's
lot.
like I couldn't do that at all. My Steam library is way too big. Fuck.
You did lose your mind the first time you saw my Steam library, and I only have like 100 games.
You only have 100, yeah.
I have less than that actually. And
that's
you were like,
weak.
"What the fuck?"
I have about 750.
I just don't need. Yeah, but I also have we also have cases of Xbox games in this house.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah,
Least
like
favorite video game.
it's tough because I want to say like BioShock 2 or something, because it's just super average.
Yeah.
You know, something like, but that doesn't feel that because that's not like it was.
Least favorite's hard. If we swap it to like most disappointing, about that.
Yeah.
It's a bit easier.
Ooh. Yeah, it.
I mean, it doesn't make the question easier, but it at least then it's something we probably actually played.
Most disappointing. Gee, I want to say Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Not because it was bad, but just because when it was such a good game that was ruined because I was playing it on the PC.
Yeah.
And it was just disappointing that I didn't get the full experience, and now I can't go back. Like they fixed it completely, but I can't go back because I'm so burned by the first experience with it.
Yeah.
And I love that series, and it's one of my favorite gaming series ever. And the last game, and it was an amazing story, great gameplay, super cool, like honestly the ultimate Batman experience. But I didn't get to enjoy it, and it was the developer's fault. Like it's not. I don't want to I'm not an apologist, but I was just like super disappointed.
Most disappointing for me was probably Alien vs Predator 2012.
Oh my god, you bought the collector's edition.
I bought that was like the first and last
You
game.
don't pre-order.
I pre-ordered. I don't pre-order anymore because of that. I was so excited because that was the first new Alien vs Predator game, and I played the original second one, so AVP2, on PC, which I loved. I thought it was incredible.
It's great, yeah.
And I didn't really like the AVP movies. I think like trash garbage, but I like the films on their own.
Yeah.
Like I like Alien and Predator. So they were like, yeah, new AVP, and I'm like, that looks really cool. So I pre-ordered like the collector's edition, and I was really excited, and I got it, and it was just very average, and I was like,
yeah, it was super.
It
middle.
happened.
You know, like it was that level of middle where it was just nothing.
And I mean, going back now, I can appreciate parts of it, but
it's always the thing where you're like, I can
You
tell
get
that I'm
caught
trying to
in-
appreciate
yeah.
parts of it.
Yeah,
I was like
it's-
that with the Prototype 2, actually, which was always going to be awful. Like, because the first game was fun, it wasn't really anything.
Prototype was weird. Never played it when it came out.
Really,
Played it after, so
really good.
it's garbage now.
Yeah, it's trash now because it's like it was, but at the time, like it was competing with something like Infamous, which was so just dreary.
They were like the first sort of action open world games
They were
that
sort of
had decent controls.
Yeah, they were like the better version of Dead Rising. Someone at home just spat out their beer when I said that. Yeah, they honestly were, and they were sort of in this direct competition, like literally direct competition. And you know, Infamous remained so dreary until the new one, Second Son, which was really fun but super short and just no substance. Whereas like Prototype was super fun, but it just got obnoxious because they would be like, okay, you're this super powered guy who can do these like amazing things. You can transform. You have these cool powers. But for this mission, you have to drive a tank. Or you have to like they stop you from having fun.
Yeah, they put like a GTA in the game that didn't need to be GTA.
Yes, because it's like you can have tanks and trucks and that's fun, but don't force me to do it.
When I have superpowers.
Kind of the same thing as like the Batmobile in Arkham Knight, where it felt really good to drive and it was really fun and it was like awesome to pancake around Gotham in this super cool car. But there were certain missions where they would force you to drive it.
You're like, no.
And you're like, no, because Batman wouldn't. He would get out of it. He would do something different.
Yeah.
Like similar idea. I only mention that because it's on top of my head. Next question comes from an anonymous via email. And this one, I want to point out to the person who sent me this knows this. This is the one where they attached a screen capture of you. I don't have it here because I copy stuff into Word documents. They just attached a screen cap from one of our gameplay videos where I've got my eyes closed because I'm angry about something.
Yeah.
And you've got like an orgasm face on, and I assume it's from something where you've been winning, and I've been disappointed, and then you've been like, yeah, this is the best thing that's ever happened.
Speedrunners or
It
something.
might have been Smash actually, because that's up. And
Was it? What was the backdrop? Was it the new studio or the old studio?
It was the new one.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know what it was from.
No idea.
So that's how that person who sent this knows who they are.
Sure.
But
Thanks
they didn't.
for that.
They didn't leave us. They were like, "Could you keep me
You're
on?"
gonna show me those photos after.
Yeah.
It'd be funny.
Hey, dickheads.
Yeah.
I know David jokes about being alcoholic, and Ben has talked about vaping.
Have I? Oh
Yeah,
god,
this is a really serious question,
that's
by the
disgusting.
way. how do you guys deal with addiction? Do you have addictive personalities, and do you have
Yes.
any advice on the area of addiction? So I think we both have extremely addictive
Oh,
personalities.
super addicted. It's horrible.
So let's start with the first part. How do you guys deal with addiction?
You don't. You just replace it with something else.
It's interesting, like it's. I suppose this, yeah.
Yeah,
When you
he's-
have an addictive personality, you have to like pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
So like, one of the biggest things I did at the start of last
Just
year,
get used to getting high on life, and then you'll.
and that's not helpful advice at all. That's like the opposite of helpful. That's like, yeah, just keep your head up.
Love and friends is my drug.
No, mine's alcohol, but that's for a reason. Like at the start of last year, I was fairly overweight and pretty unhappy and stuff. So I changed my eating habits. I lost a bunch of weight.
And you started drinking alcohol because
Yeah.
that'll help.
Because because I have such an addictive personality. I was like, I know that if I don't replace eating crap with something else, I'm just gonna keep eating crap.
Yeah, it's
And I was like, I'd much rather be hungover than
fat.
super fat. That's the truth. Like that was because I'm not saying that in like a derogatory way to
That's
fat
pretty
people,
funny.
but that was the decision I had to make because of the kind of personality I have.
Yeah.
I can't change that. Going to AA isn't gonna help because I'm not religious.
Do we even have AA in Australia?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's useless unless you're not religious though. That's one of the biggest problems with it.
Really?
Yeah, because you give yourself up to like a high power. It's not necessarily religious as much as it
Wait,
used
it's
to be.
useless unless you're religious.
You have to subscribe.
You have to be
to
religious.
well,
You have to subscribe to like agnosticism or.
No, you have to be religious, but you have to. You don't have to be religious. You have to allow yourself to think in a religious framework.
Ew.
Yeah, which I can't do because
It's gross.
life is awful. But yeah, that's like so I had to like decide which thing I was gonna do, and I was like, well, drinking, it might be more expensive, but it's better for me in the sort of short term.
Yeah.
And it's like as long as your relationship to the thing that you're addicted to stays at a healthy level, it's not really a problem.
Yeah.
And you're gonna slip over periodically. Like
Yeah, I vaped because it was cheaper.
Mm.
I was like, I just won't smoke. Smoking's expensive in Australia.
Yeah.
It's really rough. Phil went to Korea on exchange a while back, and he was like, dude, the cigarettes here are like $5 for a pack of 40, and I'm like, fuck me, if I lived in Korea, I would be dead.
that's why those taxes exist here.
Yeah, that's why
It's
there's
'cause
taxes.
it's like
It's
this
a
is
good
killing
incentive to, it
Yeah.
keeps you off them.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
I don't know. I guess the answer is
Just replace it with something else.
Yeah, how do you guys
that's
deal with it?
slightly
I don't
less
know.
harmful.
You got to learn to like moderate and just keep your relationship with things that you are addicted to at like a healthy level.
Yeah.
And you're gonna slip over periodically. Like you're gonna have say you're like an alcoholic. You're gonna have weeks where, as like with Gabe's, when I was at Gabe's or whatever, that was on holiday, so it was different. But there will be weeks periodically where at my worst, because of other factors in my life, I'll drink that much in a normal week.
Yeah.
It's super unhealthy, and I'll have to go to work hungover every day. But then I get to readjust and kind of reassess where I'm at and be like, okay, this isn't a healthy way to live. And then you kind of, you moderate yourself,
Yeah.
I guess.
I got super dark real quick.
Yeah, well, it was a serious question that came with a funny picture.
Thanks.
So this is Elsley via Patreon. Is it ever difficult talking about topics now that you're both in the industry? David is in the middle of editing his novel, and Ben is working on a project that none of you will talk about. Is it weird discussing... what are future competitors? I think Elsie means in the Arthritis podcast, because we talk, like, every week we tackle something, like a new property,
Yeah.
like a new thing. Is it weird discussing those, because they're effectively future competitors in our industries?
I don't really see them as competitors.
Yeah, we don't, that's an interesting, I'd not really thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not really. They're just sort of, I don't know. It's like standing on the feet of giants. No, standing on the shoulder.
Standing on the toes of giants.
Yeah.
They're really annoyed that
It's about as high as you can get. No, it's like standing on the shoulders of giants kind of thing.
Yeah, you want to learn from them.
I mean, they
so-
exist. Their stuff exists, and most of our stuff doesn't exist
So
yet.
they're already beating us.
So they're already winning. Yeah.
So
it's,
to
they're not-
imply that we are competing with them is just ludicrous.
yeah, we're not really competing with
Um,
those kinds of things.
And the truth is, if you do something that's good enough, you're not really competing because it's not been done before. In
Yeah,
the way that
exactly.
you've done it,
But like, well, does it feel like talking about things that? I guess like there's a perspective that it's like you get to a point where it's just like we could just talk about things that we do.
We could.
Yeah.
We could do like a podcast. We could do an hour podcast every week
On our own stuff,
But like, what's the point?
yeah,
We wouldn't
it's,
learn anything. You guys wouldn't learn anything. And
you
it'd
guys
be
would
like-
just learn how it works. You
Yeah.
wouldn't really learn what it's about.
You'd be like, okay, this is cool. I
Yeah,
now
cool.
understand how to make a game. That doesn't help me at all. Like, or I now understand how to construct like a decent story. That doesn't. Or is like, I guess the thing is, the other thing as well is like, I guess there's a part of that equation where it's like we spend a lot of time talking about stuff and not necessarily criticizing, but we pick things apart. And it's like if the stuff we put out isn't as good as we want it to be, then people can turn around and be like, oh, well, you guys spend so much time shitting on this other stuff, but you can't make anything that's good.
Well, yeah, then it's like, okay, whatever, we'll go back and
Yeah.
make it better.
And so our typical, like, mentality is, well, we'll just make good stuff then.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, I was going to publish a novel at the start of this year, actually, through DCM Works and that sort of thing, but sitting with my editors and talking to them and stuff, I just was like, I'm not happy with what this thing, like, I don't want this to be the thing that I put into the world. So we kind of went back to the drawing board and we were like, okay, what are we going to do instead? And then we found a way to work with what we have now. So I guess, yeah, like, they're not really competitors.
I mean, it's super important to always know what other people are doing, because if you don't, you just release garbage.
It's one of the biggest problems I have is because I live so much in my own world that you'll be like, here's this thing, have you heard of this thing? And I'm like, no, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
It's tough, like, and I'm really bad with that stuff. I don't keep up to date at all.
Yeah, there's like, there'll be like whole communities that I will like not even realize exist. Most recently I've been sort of not really awoken to the fact, but more just like sort of pointed at the fact that Itch.io, which is this indie game hosting place, which is where I put most of my games, is 90% visual novels.
Yeah.
And I don't give a flying fuck about visual novels. I think they're garbage. But the fact that the entire sort of
You just didn't know.
there's this huge indie community behind just making visual novels, and I'm like, really? Like they're visual novels. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, you should.
It's just this thing that I had no idea existed, and it's, you know, now that I know like they exist, I'm able to go like, okay, should I do something about it? I mean, no, because it's visual novels, but
it's just like a weird, non sequitur thing to suddenly realize.
yeah, there's so many communities out there that are huge and you don't know about them, and
like massive stuff. Like there are
like
people.
furries.
There are people that'll walk into like, so we'll do a video on something. Like, okay, so I'll give you an example. In a Dark Souls episode, let's say we talk about like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something that isn't big. We talk about like, I'm looking at the wall behind you, but it's all this popular shit. It's like Pokemon, Mario, Assassin's Creed. What's something that's not that big? Oh, I'll say like Guns of Icarus, right?
Sure, yeah.
So like we mentioned Guns of Icarus, and from somewhere, I don't know how, I don't like tag our videos individually. Somehow out of the woodwork, someone from the diehard 5,000 people that play Guns of Icarus every day comes out of the woodwork and it's like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Like,
We're
what
the biggest
fuck?
community on the internet. You're like, where did they come? And you
Yeah.
you follow the breadcrumbs. You're like, holy shit, a lot of people play this fucking game,
Well,
or whatever it is. you
they
know.
don't. But...
No, but for example, you know,
yeah.
and that happens to us a lot. And someone
Yeah.
will just come out of the fucking woodwork and be like, you don't know what you're saying. This is my favorite game.
Yeah, and I think like talking about your quote unquote competitors is a good way to sort of expose yourself to those sort of groups that you don't know exist.
Yeah, and like, and that gives you an appreciation for like what other people. Because the truth is, if you make something, the people like invariably someone will enjoy it.
Yeah.
If it's.
I mean,
good
even
enough.
if it's fucking horrendous, at least one person will enjoy it. There will always be at least one.
We subscribe to the philosophy a lot where we're like, if we make enough stuff, some of it has to be good. Video content, I mean. So, like, you know, with the Let's Plays and stuff that we do, that's kind of our philosophy. It's like...
It's the shotgun approach.
Yeah, every now and then we'll get a playthrough that's fucking gold. Like, our
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3 playthrough, and I'm not just saying this because it's our show, but it's doing it when we actually record it, it's one of the best experiences I have when we record
That's a
a
lot
show.
of fun. Yeah.
It's so much fun. It feels good when we're doing it. That's often how we know content is good.
Yeah.
When we're making it, if we're like, okay, this feels right, that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
You know, particularly with how quickly things move, you've got to find a way to make something that is, in inverted commas, timeless and feels good when you're making it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't feel good when you're making it, why are you fucking making it? Like, Gabe said this in my interview with him. He was like, if, you know, he's talking about writing, obviously, but he's like, if you're writing something and you don't love writing it, stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's wrong. You're doing something wrong. Say it's, you know, and obviously you have to work hard and push through barriers, but like, if you don't enjoy what you're making, then fucking quit. Go home.
Something like yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. Competitors. That answers that question. This comes from Tebby Toby, which is with two B's in each.
What?
Tebby. As in
Tebby.
T-E-B-B-Y.
Yeah.
Toby as in T-O-B-B-Y.
That's Tebby Tobby.
Tebby Toby. Oh, it is.
That's Tebby Tobby.
You've rused me, Tebby Toby. I thought you were Tebby Toby. This is via email, but Tebby Toby doesn't rhyme. Wait, no, there's
Tebby Toby does rhyme.
Tebby Toby.
Tebby Toby doesn't.
Tebby Toby doesn't.
Tebby Toppy.
Yeah, that's
It
confusing.
rhymes.
You guys play a lot of games. Are
We
there
do.
any you particularly hate?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Hang on, no, he talks about something else. Are there any you particularly hate? He's talking about our Let's Plays. Any you
Okay.
particularly hate, or that you had to force your way through? I don't
I
think
fucking hated.
What?
I don't know if it's gone up yet, but
What?
Jet Set Radio Future.
it'll be up by the time this
oh
is out.
fuck me, I hated that.
We're gonna keep playing it because I'll play it.
Yeah,
But
because
you-
I just gave the controller
But-
to Dave. I was like, fuck
yeah,
this
So
shit.
that's often how we solve that.
Prince
think-
of Persia.
Oh my god, Prince
That-
of Persia Sands
that-
of Time was
that
a
got
fucking
horrible.
hot nightmare.
Um,
But I don't. That's the only one we had to force our way through is Prince of Persia.
Alien
think
Isolation is
That
just
one.
rough.
Well, we're not done with that yet.
No.
But that's hard. Like that's different.
hard to play.
It's hard to play. It's not because the game's
It's not bad. It's just
We don't hate
rough.
it. We love it. It's just
Yeah.
rough. But yeah, I think the biggest one is definitely Prince
Looking
of
at
Persia.
our list. No, I think it's most of it.
Yeah.
We're doing the original Jet Set Radio. Oh no, it's
No, I just don't
different.
write things out
Damn it.
properly.
Tease me like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, there's a second part of the question.
Cool.
It's completely unrelated. Also, what are your favorite TV shows that no one knows about? So, like, do we have any like niche shit that
that
we
no one knows about.
Yeah, like that you don't think many people know about. I think.
There was this TV show called Whites that had one season.
Mm.
It was a BBC show about.
Okay.
It had one of the guys who's the regular on QI who always gets the shitty fucking buzzer. Who is he?
The
that
guy with the hair.
Yeah,
You
you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one
I know what he
that the
looks
regular
like.
who always gets the really funny
I can
buzzer.
hear his voice as well.
Yeah, he's really kind of whiny. He's in it. It's like a show about, like just working in a restaurant, like working in the kitchen of a
What's it
restaurant.
called?
Whites.
Whites.
As
There
in,
you go.
and that's a good show, especially if you work in the hospitality industry, because it's too real.
Just on point.
It's way
yeah.
too
It's
real.
kind of like waiting. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Waiting isn't that. Okay, waiting is funny when you're like 15. But then you get to, as an adult, you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Whatever. What's TV show? Penny Dreadful. I really, really, really like.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a show set in Victorian London, and it like mixes in a whole bunch of like dime novel tropes. So there's like werewolves and like vampires and
Yeah.
witches and stuff, but it's like super like Dorian Gray's in it. It's like super well funded in America, but no one here knows about it. It's like
Huh.
really, really high production quality.
That's crazy.
Like sort of someone described it to me as being like it's one of the most polished TV shows you've never heard about. And it's seriously good. So that's my recommendation for that. Next and final question comes from your friendly neighborhood Spoon.
Oh, thanks.
Which is like Spider-Man but a spoon.
Yeah.
Again, this one I had to kind of translate. There's letters instead of there's numbers instead of words.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah. David's kind of talked about this before with a B and a 4.
Yeah.
But are people ever surprised by how different you are in person to the character? He puts in inverted
Quote unquote
the
characters.
characters you are on shows, or the other way around. So I think what he's trying to ask is,
Are we different in person?
are we well, because obviously we are different.
Yeah,
in person,
everyone,
But
yeah.
I think what he's asking is, are people ever surprised by like people that don't know us before? So they see us on the shows and they meet us in person. Are they surprised by how different we are in person, or people that we know in real life are surprised how we are in the shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I get a lot. So because when I go to Melbourne and stuff, we actually meet people who know who I am through the shows, not through friends or just people that I know.
Yeah.
So they're always surprised by how
I'm more of an asshole you are in person.
yeah, I'm much more of an
Oi.
ass. Well, I'm way more pragmatic in person. I mean, I'm pretty pragmatic like on the shows and stuff, but like I don't have very strong opinions in real life.
Yeah.
I'm super super pragmatic. And I try to like I'm I'm a lot about not causing conflict, whereas on the
Yeah.
shows
You're all about that
I'm
conflict,
like the
man.
grumpy guy or whatever. I mean, I'm a lot like that in real life as well.
Um,
I think they're surprised by how much more of an asshole.
Depending on the person who knows me in real life, most people are like, "Wow, you actually talk a lot." And I'm like, "Yeah,
because you're
this
you're
is kind of what I'm meant to do."
you're fairly you're fairly quiet in real life normally.
Yeah.
Obviously not because like I mean because of the dynamic we have, we just never shut up.
Yeah, it's just easy to
But
not.
but with other people, particularly in group situations, you and I don't say a lot.
Yeah, we just sort of sit there and drink.
Yeah, or we'll talk to one. Like I talk to one
Talk to
person
each-
a lot,
yeah.
or something. Like we were at a dinner a few weeks ago, and like
Shout
I
out
was-
to that dinner.
yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
that was real good. Best,
Real good
so
steak.
Oh my god, amazing
Oh,
steak.
Jesus.
And we didn't, there are people that are really good with that group dynamic, and the people that were there are terrible at socializing. But like, so it made me and Steph from the Smallville podcast look real good socially.
Yeah.
Because it's like you put yourself in a context where it's like no one else really knows what they're doing except you and
It's not
the
hard
girl
with
that
that
was
group
sitting
of
next
people.
to me, and it's like, oh, suddenly we all look like fucking social butterflies.
Yeah, but in reality,
But in reality,
it's
it's like we just kind of sit there. You know, we're not like rude and sit there silently.
yeah.
But that's a big thing. Yeah, people are like, oh my god, you.
I mean, it depends how much alcohol is in me.
That's true. Yeah, you don't shut up when you're drunk.
I get loud when I'm drunk.
Ugh. You get loud anyway.
Yeah.
If you talk for long enough, your volume gradually increases.
Yeah, it
It's half
slowly
of
goes
my
up.
fucking life is mixing your voice and being
Yeah.
like, why is he? You just get progressively louder,
Slowly
like
increasing.
exponentially.
I get excited, man. I get
Yeah,
into
dude.
it.
But
And
yeah,
then when the episode ends, I calm down and get back into it again.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think an example of the other way around. So someone that knew me from the show and then met me in real life. When I was in Melbourne, I can tell this story because this person, I won't say the name, but it's not particularly incriminating. But
Do you buy weed off them or something? Like,
no, Ben, I
Not
wouldn't even know how to buy the marijuana.
oh yeah, true. You're a schmuck. Forgot.
Well, I assume. Well, you know, I'm still law-abiding citizens. Whatever. Don't
Yeah.
do drugs, kids. Stay in school. Or don't if school isn't right for you, but still don't do drugs. Or do drugs, but be safe about it.
Yeah.
But probably don't do drugs unless you know what you're doing. Anyway, so I was in Melbourne. This was my trip last time, so not the time before. And we were just sort of walking to the pub to meet up with someone. And this guy stops us, and he's like, "Oh, He was like, "Oh, you're David," and I was like, "Oh,
That's weird as fuck,
what?"
man.
Okay, well, it makes sense because we're in the area where,
Heaps of podcasters and
yeah, I
stuff.
can't say what area, but the area where Zamet lives.
Yeah.
And they had been on his show before, so they were within the network, but I'd never met them.
Yeah.
I didn't know who they were. They were like, "Oh, you're David. I listened to your interview with Gabe," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool, man. Like, that's great." And I'm just, I was just chatting, and he's like, "Oh man, you're less like sarcastic in person." I don't know if that's true, but whatever.
You're less sarcastic because you're
'Cause I'm just
you're
got-
tiny weeny baby and you don't want to get punched.
Yeah, and I'm also just a
Or
real.
super tough behind this microphone.
Well, I'm a real. No, I think what he meant was I was more directly an asshole.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
that
'cause
makes
I'll
sense,
just
yeah,
I just
sure.
say what I think.
Yeah.
A lot of the I'm not particularly well. I am diplomatic, but I don't care. So like unless I need to be. So we're just chatting, whatever. He's like, "Oh man, like it's really weird meeting you. Like you're a little different on the shows." I'm like, "Yeah, well, all the shows I'm with Ben, it's a different dynamic than I have with the
It's
rest of
just-
the human
yeah.
race."
Oh,
Because like
ooh.
I hate Ben more than I hate everyone else.
Yeah.
Kind of
So
thing.
it's kind of just easier to
But
be a
so that was
different person.
that was super weird that he just knew who I was. And
That
I
is
was
pretty-
like- I was
that is
like-
pretty
I was
creepy.
like,
I never want to meet any of you guys in
No,
real life.
I'm sure
Just-
your faces will creep us out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't if you see us on the street,
Don't say hi.
throw a rock and then just turn around.
Bolt.
Both. We'll know it was you. We'll know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
It'll be the old DCM works like
rock and bolt.
to like
Get it on the t-shirt.
to like know if you to you know how like it's like fucking Reddit has like the narwhal bacon bullshit where they're
I
like
don't, but sure.
to like see to find other Redditors in real life do this and if they respond like a call sign or something.
Oh, like you're in the military,
Yeah, we'll just
Yeah.
do just if you see
Throw
see
a rock
another
at 'em.
DCM works fan, just throw a rock at them
and then
and
run
run.
away. And you
Um,
just the rock
We'll
and
we'll
bolt.
add we'll pay for your legal fees or something. I don't
It's
know.
true. I'll put a t-shirt on our store. Rock and
DCM
bolt.
works
DCM.
advocating assault.
DCM
since
works.
2016.
Advocating assault as long as you get away. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode of Q&A. If you guys want to send us questions, you can. All the email stuff is in the show notes. I have a catch-all, so you can actually send anything at
DCM.
DCM, and I'll receive it, and I'll know where it came from.
Oh, that's good. So
So
you
have
can
fun with that.
so you can put your entire message in the email field.
Please don't. You could be like, "Fuck you, dickheads," at DCM.works. I'll still get it.
That's cool.
Yeah, the internet's moved on.
The majesty of fucking the internet.
Yeah, or you can hashtag us at hashtag AFAPod, or you can tweet us at DCM_works.
We don't have a catch-all on the hashtags though, so you got to
No,
actually.
I have to actually follow that.
You
I'm
actually
really
have to
bad
get
at it. I have to go
AFA
check
pod.
it. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
annoying. Or you can hit us up on Facebook. That's actually the most direct way to message me because it comes up on my phone.
Gross.
Yeah.
Facebook.
So you can actually message me in real time.
Oh
which is
Jesus,
disgusting.
that is disgusting.
So yeah, and if you hit us up on any of the socials, it'll be me or other Dave who respond, and then we'll get your question.
You'll
on
never get me.
the bank ever. Well,
Maybe
no,
one day.
on YouTube.
Maybe
if
one
you
day.
comment.
Oh, if you comment on YouTube, you'll get me.
You get it once every 6 months.
Once
When I
every
force
now
you
and
to
then,
comment,
you get
yeah.
me.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. And as always, big thanks to our Patreons over patreon.com/DCMworks. Big shout outs to our sponsor, hover.com. They do domains and URLs and stuff. Easy to transfer, super easy to use. You can grab our referral thing I was gonna say in the link show.
In the link below.
That's not right.
Yeah.
It's in the. You can grab our referral link in the show notes.
In the doobly doo.
Down the bottom. I'm pointing down like we're filming this.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. And I hope that you guys were not super disappointed by us answering questions.
What the fuck?
What?
What kind of outro was that?
What? Well, usually you say goodbye, but you haven't yet.
Alright, see ya.
Oh, that was easy.
It was probably a song that reminded me of it, or I'd done an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice.
Writing is definitely an isolating thing.
From an outside perspective, that's weird as
It makes
fuck.
us look really mental.
But that is because of what it kind of said about art.
I had fun in bits. There were fun bits.
We went and bought a value pack of straps.
Oh my god, we did. There is a big lesson here to learn about storytelling.